This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Jeff. We are the Giesbrecht family, and I'm going to take a moment to introduce us. First of all, our mother was married to Dwayne's oldest brother, Quentin. And so my mother is down here in the second row, and her name is Lucille Giesbrecht. There were 5 of us Giesbrechts. Our oldest sister actually is turning a big 65 today, so they had long time plans. So she has been a part of everything, but she is not able to be here today. Denise is the next oldest in our family. And then there are 3 of us that are triplets, and I'm the oldest of the triplets. And then it's Kimmy, and then Kevin. He's the baby of the family, so Dad was ecstatic when the last one that came out was a boy. We were born at the old Emmanuel Hospital here in town. We were raised in the Mennonite Holdeman faith. We're very grateful for our heritage, and I know there are many that are here today. Can those of you that are from our background in our family please stand? Ray, Glenda, the Schmidts, the Friesen, can we stand? Can you? I know you're already standing. Thank you so much for coming and honoring Dwayne in this way. We love that you're here. And the rest of you that are here, you are just as dear to us. I'm going to go ahead and give the mic over to Kevin for a little. Actually, Sheila, we'll go ahead and let Sheila share and she get it over with. Sheila is Denise's oldest girl.
Hi. Okay. So the Rockman was my great uncle, but I only ever knew him as Dwayne. The first time I saw and met him, I was around 11 or 12. My mom and grandma saw this homeless man and went up to him and just started talking to him like they knew him, and I was very confused. And after they said their goodbyes, my grandma told me that was my grandpa's brother. And my grandma told me his story about being in the Navy and about how he was different when he came home, and that it was his choice to live out in the open because he couldn't stand to be closed in. And I learned from my grandma that sometimes you have to love those you care for from a distance. And from then on, whenever I saw Dwayne, I would always tell my grandma, and I never hesitated to tell people who he was and what his story was. And my grandma cared very deeply for the Rockman. And I believe that with my family having a connection with the Smallwoods, God knew that once my grandma could no longer physically look after him, Glory would be the perfect person to step in and take over. And I will miss seeing him around and reporting to my grandma, but I know that Turlock will be a little less emptier without him, but I know he's in a better place. And somebody came up to me just a few seconds ago and shared with me that about 3 years ago, there was a woman who was homeless and had children, and she was had addictions and lived not the best life. And Dwayne went up to her and gave her a $100 bill and told her that it's not always going to be like this. And she has been clean for 3 years. So that's amazing. So anyways, okay.
Thanks, Sheila. Many of us in Turlock, well, not us, but many of you, including Gloria, before she met Dwayne, had no idea of the circumstances behind Dwayne's condition, the history of his life, what led him to where he was. They just saw this man in the streets of Turlock, raggedy, perhaps dirty, and all of them seemed to share one thing in common, and that was that they all agreed that he was a sweet soul, at least the ones that I've heard from and spoke to. But no one actually knew the history. Now, I can't go into every detail, that would take too long, but my sister Carol has beautifully put down on paper just some of the facts and some of the history of Dwayne's life, and along with Gloria's beautiful tribute to Dwayne. And by the way, it is so nice to hear that. I mean, just warmed my heart. And Gloria probably wasn't the only one who had a relationship with Dwayne, but I'm sure it was the closest one. Along with that, I'm going to share just a few details so you guys can become just a little bit more familiar with Dwayne and his past. Uncle Dwayne was an almost everyday part of our lives in those early years, often staying with us for weeks at a time, finding happiness and contentment in the regular everyday life, all the time quietly fighting those fast approaching demons already haunting his dreams. Our family loves music, and it was a huge part of our regular days. Dwayne found pure joy in the notes. He almost always had his guitar strapped on, and upon occasion, we found him at our family organ, penning original lyrics and chords. Mama also recounts how you could always find him holding one of the triplets. Oh, how he loved to rock his babies. Dad, our dad, Dwayne's oldest brother, often traveled between home and Colorado, where our grandfather, Dwayne and Dad's father, lived. When Dwayne traveled back and forth, trying to find a normal, Dad trying to convince Dwayne to settle down, to come home, soon brought nothing but strife between the family. But Dad kept on, never giving up, determined to keep his brother safe and on the right path. And then tragedy struck, and we lost our dad. And once Grandma Giesbrecht died, that was Dwayne's mother, well, life as Dwayne knew it no longer existed, and it no longer mattered. We're convinced when Dad died, as he truly saw through and understood his brother's issues and loved him enough to take him in, things may have turned out differently for our uncle. But ugly life happened to Dwayne, and nothing or no one could convince him life could be different. And when he could no longer bear this world and whatever memories tormented him, Dwayne began to retreat into his other safe reality as it got the best of him. And more he stayed away until finally the streets became his refuge and safe haven. Safety of rocks became his life's passion. He lived and breathed rocks, and heaven help you if he saw you kicking, throwing, or abusing rocks or rock-like material in any form. It was his mission in life to protect and preserve his precious rock kingdom, thus birthing his beloved nicknames, Rocky and Rockman. Our family, especially our mother, did what she could, always checking in with Turlock Police Department if she hadn't seen her brother-in-law for a while. When we happened upon our uncle at the 99-cent store, the flea market, the donut shop, Denair Park, we reached out to him, but he always kept his distance. Although we respected his wishes, we never stopped trying to approach him, to let him know we hadn't forgotten, let him know how loved and how dear he was. Although whatever kept him estranged from his family who loved him, he found acceptance and friendship and even love from new friends in our community. That meant and still means so much to us that others were not valued, treasures, and loved he was. We can't make our family's choices, but we definitely can love them through it all, even if from a distance. And there's a verse in the Bible, and Gloria referenced it when she was sharing her story. In Matthew 25, is it 25, verse 25? Whatever, 25:40, I'm sorry, you put the chapter, but not the verse. Matthew 25:40. Whatever is done for the least of these is done for me. And that is in regards to everybody who shared and showed love to Dwayne. Today we honor his memory along so many of you. We, the Giesbrecht family, have looked forward to meeting and thanking each of you who looked after our uncle these last 40 years. You all became his family when he couldn't find peace with his own. And for this we will forever be grateful. Many blessings to each of you for your love and support. And for Dwayne, and to Dwayne, as our mother so eloquently put it, lovingly caressing his arm, saying her final words to him, softly spoken, "We'll see you, Dwayne."
As Kevin had mentioned, music has always been a main part of our life. My dad was just in love with music. You've been hearing one of Dwayne's original songs, "Don't Worry About Me." And so we were just put down on the couch at a very young age and just opened the church hymnal and said, "Sing." And so we started to sing very young, and soon we began to realize that we could harmonize. And so one of my mom's favorite songs, and one of the first songs that we sang when we became adults, was this song called "Till the Storm Passes Over." And it is very interesting how it goes almost hand in hand with Jesus Rescue Island of the Sea that Stuart sang. And I wanted to say something real quick about the least of these. Gloria, when she called me within a very short time after finding Dwayne, and it was a very emotional, hard phone call for her. And later on, when we were visiting several times, she said over the phone, "Carol, all I did was give him coffee. I could have done so much more." But what I want to tell to Gloria is that you gave him hope. You gave him a reason to come to Lamo, and that coffee was the beginning of that relationship. So the least of these was the coffee, and then everything followed after that. You have told us to feel peace, to feel relief. Will you too, Gloria? Because your friend's at peace. So we're going to sing this song, and we want to thank you again, each and every one of you that have supported our uncle over these 40-some years. How he survived on the streets for 40 years is beyond us, but he is a Giesbrecht. He was a Giesbrecht, and that is strong blood. So we're going to try to sing this song for you, and here we go.
In the dark of the midnight have I often hid my face, while the storm howls above me, and there's no hiding place. Mid the crash of the thunder, precious Lord, hear my cry. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Many times Satan whispers, there is no need to try, for there's no end of sorrow, there's no hope by and by. But I know thou art with me, and tomorrow I'll rise, where the storms never darken the skies, till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever